record holder of the no out of bounds category with a 55-58. MichaelT00 has a 56-48, I believe, or something around there. It's in the 56-40 range. So both are very, very strong runners. So we're all going to be seeing a really interesting race with a lot of high-level movement and everything. And the runners are off. And they're about to get synced in just a moment. And we're getting started with the first half of Area 1, which is just a bunch of ghost catching. And it's our warm-up until the real fun begins. So now we have a quick cutscene. And then the ghost catching insanity will ensue. So Parlor's really easy, so we're probably going to see the two of them do very similar movements and everything. Or stand in different spots. Either standing far enough away to avoid getting scared or just taking out first person, because that can also be used to avoid getting scared. Alright, so they basically got a frame perfect finish of Parlor. It's pretty much what you're expecting to see between these two runners in the first half of Area 1. But in this room, we're going to start seeing doubles, and let's see how they handle that. Shouldn't be too hard for them. Oh, it's funny seeing, like, the different spots where they sand, but it's essentially doing the same thing. But Michael misses the first double, which is unfortunate. That puts him a few seconds behind Bluehits. Bluehits is a very clean anteroom. So that puts him a few seconds ahead of Michael. And it's what a missed double can do to you, but that hardly means anything. Pretty much how Area 1 finishes is not going to at all predict what's going to happen for the rest of the race. Anything can happen. It's Luigi's Mansion. Alright. Bluehits with a 219 key. Pretty much as good as you can get. Michael not far behind with a 221. Now we're going to start attacking our first set of portrait ghosts in Area 1. Very simple to do. First one, Neville. They're going to position themselves so that they'll start sucking him up the moment he shows his heart. Blue's going for a bottom left corner. And Michael goes for the top left corner. And despite being harder to dodge all the pearls in the top left corner, Michael manages to dodge every single pearl, so that was really nice. Like our fellow runner Zircon Eagle was doing some experimentation and found that the top left corner was a little bit faster. But the difference is fairly minimal. Michael did not really have a ideal position where the chest spawned, but he didn't get chest glitch, so that's fine. Now moving on to our first boss, Chauncey. Oh, and Bluehits does not get the Chauncey spawn. That was unfortunate. Stepped away a little bit early. And yes, this is the no out of bounds category. So in this category, you do an any % completion without using an out of bounds glitch, which skips basically the entire game from the end of Area 1. Yeah, if you... The true any % category, you basically go behind the Chauncey chest before it spawns, then go out of bounds, do some crazy stuff, and then end up in King Boo's room, and then you beat the game in 8 minutes, or 8 to 9 minutes. And that out of bounds glitch is banned, so this is more in the spirit of the full game, and also because the out of bounds glitch is really, how would I say, janky, I guess. This is the more popular category. Runners are going to position themselves to catch the first ball. Both runners get it very cleanly. Both runners take damage intentionally to avoid grabbing money. Because at the end of the area there is a money counter, and if you don't have any, you can skip all of it. They're going to take intentional damage over here, too, to take advantage of invincibility frames, so they can catch the second ball real easily. And Michael with a very clean Chauncey. And 550. Very solid time. Bluehits shortly follows with a 554. So now we go into Area 2, where the run really begins. Area 1 was just a warm-up. So this is where RNG starts becoming a factor, and the boos start appearing, which is a very important part of running this game, both catching them and finding them. The 3-second gap between them is pretty much meaningless right now, considering that our first set of RNG is going to be, can mean the difference between 10 seconds. But we're not there yet, so we'll start with the beginning of Area 2. And you'll notice that runners are picking the second option when talking to EGAD. They're going into the Hidden Mansion, which has a more powerful vacuum and is faster. And both runners are pointing their flashlights very specifically to avoid getting scared by ghosts in the hallway. And setting up for a pretty simple double. Alright, so now both runners are going to be going into the ballroom, where we get our first set of very difficult doubles, at least for new runners, and then the first piece of RNG. So now we're in the ballroom. All right, both runners have very, very clean Shy Guy doubles, very solid. And now for the floating Rolindas, where they may choose to show their heart early for no reason aside from them saying so, and that saves you 10 seconds. We call that early release. And Bluehits did not get it, I believe. Neither of them did, it looks like. Yeah, neither of them got early release, so no one's taking a free 10 seconds. So that's good. We don't need anyone getting ahead because of pure RNG. Both runners are going to be using a glitch where they point their vacuum through a wall and suck up the poster on the other side of the wall, which we call poster skip. And it saves you the time of having to suck off the poster before hitting the button. So both runners are still playing pretty cleanly, and the gap has been just about the same throughout the whole run, minus the couple hiccups that was here and there. But now we just hit the big red button and the boos are coming out now, and that's where the true RNG begins. So we're cycling through a lot of text, but that's okay. You guys just explaining the deal with the boos and everything. And boos have now appeared in all the rooms that we've already completed, so now we have to go back into them, because we need 5 boos in order to advance. So we're going to go to the first 3 rooms in Area 1. Both runners getting the fake, which is unfortunate, but they both had pretty much the same level of RNG. So far, no one has gotten messed up by it so far, but that's only boo number 1. We have 39 to go. Michael has perfect RNG in this room, and so does Bluehits. Are both runners going to get the same RNG? We know the answer is no to that. And now for the wardrobe room. And there goes Bluehits, getting worse RNG than Michael did. And the gap is widening, but it's only by a small amount. And this is Luigi's mansion. Shoutouts to Foop Johnson for his wonderful, famous last words. And now we're going to skip the rest of Area 1 because we have to go back there in Area 3. So it's faster to do it then. And as it turns out, if you do the other rooms, you get 5 boos that way. Both get left side chairs, although Bluehits got the bomb first. So far, Michael's had better RNG, but the difference has been fairly small. It definitely could have been a much wider gap between them. We're getting trolled by the mice in this room. They can mess with you a little bit. And now grabbing the key in the toilet, which happens to be the thing that the toad is crying about, but we're not going to talk to the toads because that's really slow. And warping back to the foyer, and now doing the mirror room, which goes similar to the ones we saw in the bathroom, except they actually hurt when you grab them, and they're invisible except for in the mirror. So this is where memorizing their starting position comes in very much handy. And there will be doubles here, so positioning is very key. So you can see both runners positioning themselves very specifically in order to get those doubles as fast as possible. So now we're going to see a trick that goes by many names. I call it Fire Warp, where we catch the boo as we grab the fire medal and then save and quit, which saves the fact we have the fire medal. And then we don't have to deal with all the fire text. It saves roughly 6 seconds. Both runners got it very cleanly. And now we can just grab the fire on the left candle over here and go get our key to the laundry room. Only specific candles drop fire. It doesn't apply to all of them. And here's where you light these candles to unlock the key, because you just got fire, so what to do aside from light candles in the mansion? How is 8-year-old me supposed to know how to do that without looking it up? Both runners getting the RNG mouse over here that only has a 20% chance of spawning, but it's not 100%, so we don't care about the mouse. Money doesn't mean anything to us. Money is the root of all evil, but not in 100%. So now the runners have to beat this room really fast, because if they don't, they could lose the butler here. And they're going to open the laundry, the washing machine for the hat, but leave it because we're going to use it for a trick where we skip the animation of the chest spawning. It's not hard. It's not hard. Well, you know, I wasn't a smart person when I was young. I'm still not smart now. Yes, very important skip with a really cool name. It is called Hat Skip. Again, shout outs to Foop Johnson. And both runners activated the mouse hole so they can go through while catching the boo, which skips the text. And this is a Japanese-only glitch. And these are ice elemental ghosts, so you have to hit them with fire before you can flash them with your flashlight. Michael having a slightly rough catch, and through something or another, and RNG, Bluehits is now ahead, because this is Luigi's mansion. All it takes is a little bit of convenient boo locationing, and suddenly you're ahead, and both of them are going to be going for, or not. And that was Michael with Laundry Boo Text Skip. A trick that's kind of difficult to pull off, but it does save you the text. It requires a very specific angle of both your control stick and your C stick. Michael is currently 3rd place on the leaderboards with a 56-48 or something like that. Yeah, the mouse hole glitch does not work on the American version of the game. It's Japanese only. Other differences between US and Japanese is on the Hidden Mansion, you take double damage on the US version, and you do not on the Japanese version. So just by looking at where Michael got the water theme from Super Mario Bros., Bluehits got the athletic theme from Super Mario Bros. 3. Michael with perfect RNG with the bow. And Bluehits with slightly less than perfect, but still really good RNG. Funny that. And Michael is ahead again, which he went ahead because of Laundry Boo Text Skip, but I can't keep up. I'm not doing an impression of him either. I can't do impressions. All right, here's Mr. Lugs. He's not required for no out of bounds, so we're just gonna walk right past him because we don't care. And he's super long to catch, so it would waste a lot of time. And now we have the water medal, which allows us to use water. And that allows us to conveniently take out that door on fire on our left, because doors can just be on fire. Michael doing some boo dragging. Trick that takes a little while to figure out. All right, Michael tried to extinguish the door while catching the boo, which didn't work. So you want to extinguish the door before catching the boo because you have to wait a few seconds for it to be openable. So now, guess who's in the lead? Only by a few moments. So they intentionally get hit by Spooky because that spawns Mr. Bones faster. And yes, his name is Mr. Bones. And they are within very close range with each other. Bluehits getting that really clutch double right there with using the flashlight stun lock trick. That was risky. That was nice though. Michael getting a more consistent set. Kind of have to pray that the movement is good for the skeletons. Now both these runners will be heading to the second area boss, Bogmire. Unlike Chauncey, you can actually one cycle Bogmire. It's on the difficult side, but both these runners are very talented runners. So they're both very capable of doing it. And we'll see what happens. Both runners with a extremely clean Bogmire to end off Area 2. Or at least it looked extremely clean to me. You open Bogmire chest by being in front of it. And praying chest glitch doesn't happen. Alright, so both these runners are seconds apart at the end of Area 2. And both of them had a very different Area 2 where the leads have swapped between the two of them just because of random stuff happening, like laundry boot tech skip. And the door not being extinguished on time. But, as you know, this is Luigi's Mansion. Area 3 can be even more brutal. Can the runners keep their sync? Will there be a minute gap and have that minute gap disappear? Who knows? Area 3 is one of the only areas in the game where we actually do some routing, because there's a section of the game where you can do it in any order you want. Despite this being a wide open mansion, this game is pretty linear. But now we got to do some walking all the way over to the Area 3 door, which is nothing compared to the walking we'll be seeing in Area 4. And if these runners keep their sync, I'll have to be wondering what I'm going to be saying during that wonderful walking segment. So now we're in the courtyard where we're going to be doing what every other person exploring a mansion will do by falling down a well, not taking any damage, and looking through the lion's head to see Mario in a painting, just like any other person exploring a mansion would do. Oh, did I spoil that? Whoops. Spoiler alert. And also having a hang and go spawn from nothing. And just having a key materialize. Alright, so you'll notice that the runners are taking out their elements at the beginning of certain movement. That is a vacuum cancel trick where you skip the animation of taking out your flashlight. That wastes a second. Bluehits going for the door snipe. Michael going for it. They both get the door snipe, which is really nice. Because that door is on fire, and you can actually hit it through the wall. And this gives us the ice medal. And you can see that really specific movement to make sure we spawn right on top of the chest and not have to deal with hitting the flip switch after. Ooh. Wow, that moved right next to him. And he actually reacted to that very quickly. That was really nice. And getting the tech skip. And Michael getting worst RNG. That is how this game rolls. And Bluehits getting sound glitch. Well, not real sound glitch. Oh, Michael got the tech skip too. That was really nice. That's not exactly easy to do. Oh, it's not easy to set up. There's Petunia, who, for whatever reason, can drag you really well. So you have to make sure you're constantly pulling, or she'll just break free in 3 seconds. And now for Nana, who control you, because if you miss the yarn ball, she disappears and you have to restart. But Bluehits does not care and has perfect aim with a clean suck up. Same with Michael. So Bluehits going to be doing a very important movement here. Or not, because the Boo just decides to run away and not be frozen. But he reacted to that really well. Michael going a little bit safer over here. Grabbing the fire because we need to light the candles in the Astral Hall. Oh, so really fast candle lighting. Bluehits showing his super speed because he's a speedy boy. Very specific angles. Bluehits going for the dangerous triple right there, but this room can be really tough to read the Boo radar in because there's just so much stuff right next to each other. Michael going for the super safe triple. Well, not really a triple. Single then triple. Michael not really. Both of them getting the fake first, but Michael getting a little bit better placement to be able to read. And now for Moonshot, because your vacuum is not pointing where you think it is, and you miss the boon by a mile. But luckily, we have a pretty good setup, which involves not looking at where the vacuum is pointing, but where it is compared to where Luigi is. You basically want the left side of the vacuum next to Luigi's arm with a little bit of a gap, and then you usually get it. And Bluehits showing his first-person swag. Michael is a little bit slower on the setup because your C-stick can decide to just hate you. And now we'll grab Mario's star. We'll walk through this wonderful area of... I don't even know how to explain this section of the mansion. We left the dimension. And now we'll head back down to Area 2 to go get another one of Mario's dropped items, which we need to talk to the fortune teller we met in Area 2 and just ignored, because meeting the fortune teller in Area 2 is slow, and we don't want to be slow. Got another portrait ghost over here, Slim Bankshot, who we're going to skip because he's not required, and thank God, because Bankshot is horrible. I will argue that he is one of the worst portrait ghosts in the game. In terms of annoyance. Probably not the hardest, but it's probably Weston. But certainly the most annoying in my opinion. Now we're in the projection room, which is very similar to the mirror room, except you really can't see the ghosts. You can use their shadows, but it's really not helpful. Michael with slightly better RNG. Playing a dangerous game with all those double cackles. But then we mirror warp, head back to Area 1, where we'll finally catch those boos we left in there the whole time. They were probably getting pretty lonely. And then we'll go take on the twins. 5-egg shot. Didn't miss you. Not going to miss you. Oh, that was... So Bluehits was looking to restock his fire, I think, or was just checking for RNG and managed to manipulate the boo to attack, which kept that pretty fast. Bluehits with the fast twin spawn, I think. I wasn't looking at his screen. And now we're going to cheat at hide and seek because try not play hide and seek normally is very slow. And if you're like me who speedran this game before knowing that you could cheat at this game, probably weren't having a fun time. They actually do hint that you can cheat at them if you go read the books in the study. But who reads books in a video game? Especially when they're 4 sentences long. Whew, that twin took Michael for a ride there. And he's also going to go for the boo without even trying to clear these pearls either. Playing a dangerous game. And he goes into the hallway, which is unfortunate. Probably strategically not the best choice on Michael's part, but I could see what he was going for. And Bluehits gets a long text, which... After you get 15 boos, E-Guy can just decide to give you some information about a few things, like a triangular relationship between the elements, plants, or Vangor. And there's another text skip where you can suck up the bed sheet. Yeah, there was a lot of double cackles at the beginning. You're probably right that he gave up on the boo. Probably would have been better to not try and struggle with it. Michael getting really bad RNG in this room. And now Bluehits is going to be talking to Clairvoya, which we have to go through all 5 of Mario's dropped items. So there's going to be a lot of mashing. Good advantage of the Japanese version is that the text here is a lot quicker on the Japanese version. If the Japanese version overall saves about 30 seconds over the US version. And now we have button mashing simulator. The fastest way to mash in this game is by alternating the A and the B button. And once you've given Clairvoya all 5 of Mario's dropped items, she will complain that she's ran out of power and wants to become a painting game, and we'll let you suck her up. Which means that she doesn't pull you at all, and she won't resist the vacuum, which makes It's a little bit more awkward to catch her, because you can't just pull. So what you often do is just face your control stick away and spin the C stick. Blue hits with another fake. But still a pretty good Boo location. And now Michael's about to catch Clairvoya. Bluehits is now getting the key to the 3rd floor, where he will go to the Safari Room. But we need to make a quick stop and grab some ice, because there we'll introduce the water elementals in the Safari Room, where they need to be hit with ice before you can flash them with your flashlight. So very important not to forget the ice. I think most runners have done it at least once. Or that's what I tell myself at night to not feel bad. Alright, Blue's going to set up for a pretty tricky double here, because there's going to be a water elemental and 2 garbage can ghosts that appear. And he gets that really clean. Alright, super clean Safari Room from Bluehits. So the ice actually does freeze the Boo, which stuns them for a little bit longer. Ooh, really close. Another long text from Bluehits. And now Bluehits will be heading toward the 3rd area boss, Bluehits. We got a poison mushroom over there, which you don't want. I didn't explain poison mushrooms before, but what they do is make Luigi small and completely unable to do anything for 15 seconds. And Michael loses the Boo with 1 health. That's everyone's least favorite thing. Oh no, it's 0 health, even worse. And there's no music for Bluehits, which kind of happens if you mash really quickly, so that happens pretty often. And now we're going to go ahead and completely break Bluehits by... And the ice elemental on the right has gone completely out of bounds. So Bluehits has to react pretty quickly. See how he recovers. Wow, that ice elemental was also nowhere near. So that was probably by far the worst ever first cycle Bluehits I've ever seen in my life. What was that? Still with a very fast Bluehits though, and also that ice elemental was kind of decided to be a little nicer. But yeah. Bluehits with that Bluehits. That was fun. Alright, Michael getting a 1 cycle. A really close 1 cycle, but he got it. Can bridge the gap a little bit. But 2 very interesting Bluehits is that how you say it? But all right, so those So Colossus evidently counts as 15 boos toward your total, so you'll see their boo count suddenly go up by 15. And you need 20 boos to access the balcony, so we needed to catch 20. We actually catch 21, I believe, because boos in area 2 and 3 have a lot less health than they do in area 4. And we need 40 boos to access King Boo's room, the secret altar. So you'll see them catch 4 more. Boolasses is kind of a it's kind of messy, especially if you're new to speedrunning. It can be a very messy experience, but even when you're experienced, they can just do that and just troll you. I think, given what Bluehits was put up against, I think he played that really well, and that's a really good showcase of how experienced and strong of a speedrunner Bluehits is. Now I have to come up with something good to say about Michael. And now we have Walking Simulator 3000. La-di-da-di-da. Some interesting commentary. Both runners are walking really fast. You can see the efficiency in their movement. Walking through the mansion. Up. Good vacuum cancel for Michael. True showcase of skill right there. Okay, blackout starting on Bluehits' side. So now lightning strikes, which turns out all the lights, which you can just cancel by turning on the breaker, because that makes any sense whatsoever. If you go through the room and go to the telephone room, you'll learn that there's a breaker switch and that Uncle Grimly's hiding somewhere in the mansion. But that's slow, and we know what's going to happen. So we don't go to the telephone room. So we'll never see those telephones have any use. Grimly's always in the same location, the wardrobe room. Could you imagine if he just hit anywhere he wanted? No one would speedrun this game. And Grimly, unlike Neville, who's more cycle-based, Grimly just shows his heart whenever he pleases. So we'll see if Bluehits gets a good Grimly. And he does get a good Grimly. Only about 2 or 3 seconds. I would consider that really good. And now it gets the key to the breaker room, and he's going to head toward the breaker room. Michael going a slightly safer route through the parlor. Bluehits was going for the first-person skip. And it didn't really work out, but that's fine. Michael with an even faster Grimly. So both runners did not have bad Grimlys at all. So no true RNG screwing here. And both runners are probably going to be going for the great coveted Breaker Boo 1 cycle, one of the hardest tricks to do in the game, where this Boo has 200 health, and if you are pumped perfectly normally, you can do about 150 damage. But they're Boo dragging. You can buy yourself some extra time. And despite a double cackle from Bluehits, he gets that super well, super clean. Well, I don't know if I'd call it clean, but he gets it without any trouble. So we'll see how Michael handles the Breaker Boo 1 cycle. Both runners get Breaker Boo 1 cycle. All right, we're on for a fun pace in Area 4, where we, first of all, won't have to see runners doing completely different routes, which we've been seeing a lot. So we can I can at least tell who's ahead. Bluehits getting another long text. The game wants to see them sync up. All right. And now Bluehits is going to walk all the way to the top of the mansion. To the furthest room possible. And that's not really good positioning of that boo. Double Cackle City. And he still gets it without any trouble. And something can still happen to put Michael back in the lead. Double Cackling Boo's control. But right now, Bluehits is a pretty sizable lead at the moment. Commentary. Words. Walking. Running. Slight jog. I guess that's what Luigi's doing. And here's telephone room. It's not a required room, so we're just going to walk through it because who needs to light up rooms that we don't need to light up? Okay, toy soldier time. Activate all the clocks and they start attacking you. And Bluehits will probably be going for a double here, which can be a little tricky to do and set up for. All right, so not really a double. We went for it, but couldn't really get the positioning right. Not really fortunate, but we'll see how Michael handles it. And here on the rooftop, we have another set of Shy Guy dancers, but we have fire now, so we're not dealing with trying to get that double. Michael gets the double, which is really nice. Bluehits walks into the ice elementals. Luckily doesn't have them spread out, which is nice. Still gets the double fine. Did Bluehits get stumble skip? I wasn't looking. Oh, and Michael didn't get the didn't take out the ice off the other one, so we had to hit them with fire again. And now Bluehits is about to enter the laggiest room in the game, the armory. And you'll see this really efficient ghost catching, ghost burning, all that fun stuff. Missing the scare skip there. Oh, going for the not fire hit on the first one. Bluehits went for the burnless triple and did not work out for him very nicely, but still got a double there, which was good. Michael can get the triple over. He's probably, I think he's gonna go for the burning triple. Oh, he's gonna go for the quad. Well, not really quad, but... Ooh. That was clean from Michael. I'm going for dangerous stuff there. So he can bridge that gap just a little bit. And Michael gets the fake, which is unfortunate. But still in a pretty good location. Alright, looks like both are due for a pretty clean armory boo. Or, oh, nope, he still got it. Don't scare me there. So now we're going back and forth between the third floor and the basement because why would Area 4 be convenient? And now we're going into the basement to go do Pipe Room and Weston. Pipe Room is actually not a required room to complete. You can just turn off the valve, grab the key, and leave. And this boo takes forever to catch, so we don't catch it. While it is a 300 boo that you can one cycle, It's still has 300 health. And you can just shake those grabbers off you. And we just walk out, leave those ghosts to do their thing, wondering when Luigi will ever come back. The answer is never. And now we have Weston, probably one of the hardest Portrait Ghost to one cycle. At least he is the hardest in No Out of Bounds. Especially because of the ice. Bluehits gets that one cycle without any issue. And making sure to grab these pearls because you don't want to lose this boo. Important point about the pearls, because Luigi's vacuum can auto-lock onto a lot of stuff. Especially the pearls all over the place, so you have to be very careful with them. Because when you start auto-locking on them, you'll lose the boo, and it becomes a mess. Bluehit's getting more long text. I think I saw a double cackle there, but we'll see how that works. Ooh, this is shaky. Oh no. He got that, no problem. So really no major mistakes from either runners this run. Both are playing pretty well. And it's basically come down to just ever so slightly more efficient movement and fewer minor mistakes. We grab that fire there because we can do flashlight skips, and one of the set of ghosts in Van Gogh is faster to burn over sucking them up. And now both of them have 40 boosts, so we don't have to do Van Gogh boo. I'd say outside of crown thefting, this race is pretty set. But this is Luigi's Mansion. Who knows what could happen? So now in Van Gogh's room, you'll be facing 3 of all the main types of ghosts. Sorry, my internet froze for a moment there. Bluehits getting that instant triple with the red grabbers. Risky to go for, but it works out very nicely for him. And I'm guessing he got the triple there, but I kind of had to catch up the stream. And catching Van Gogh gives us the key to the secret altar. And since we have 40 boos already, thanks to the Breaker Boo 1 cycle, we do not need to get Van Gogh boo. We can just head on over downstairs and finish the game. Alright, so that's a 54 exit. If I had any clue what a good prediction at the time would be, I would tell you, but I don't. So I'll let chat predict the times. And Michael hitting the wall instead of opening the door. 100% because of swag and not missing the door. And now we have King Boo, who hides in a Bowser suit and then throws stuff at you that you can use to hurt him, because that's how every boss works in this game. Bluehits predicts sub 104. I can't go wrong with that one. That's like your 99.99999% confidence range. Like, super confident, but not very informative. Sub 110 is the 99.9999999 prediction. All right, now that we're actually at King Boo, I can try it for a little bit more solid prediction. I think Bluehits can barely get a high 56, maybe a low 57. It'd be really close. And Michael's looking at, and that's with a 2 cycle. He can't mess up the 2 cycle for that. I think even if Bluehits messes up a 2 cycle, he can probably still win the race. But yeah, both runners stayed really close to each other for the entire race. Super clean first cycle from Bluehits, so he's most likely got the 2 cycle in the bag, but we'll see what happens. But 233 is a really good first cycle. Like, ridiculous. And Bluehits finishes with a 56.58. An excellent time from Bluehits. Getting a 56 in a race is nothing short of amazing. So, good game to Bluehits for putting on a show. And Michael's about to finish with a really solid time as well. Oh, wow. Michael even had an even better first cycle. That's crazy. You guys brought your all for King Boo. And Michael finishes with a 57.30. Both really good times. Let's bring out our GGs for these runners, because they both played their hearts out, played like bosses, kept a super entertaining and close race. And if they'd both like to come on and speak a few words of wisdom, feel free to do so.
Hello.
We got Bluehits. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Managed to pull out a 56 after all.
Dude, that was a heck of a race. Both of you had a heck of a race there.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching the restream, so I was kind of nervous after the out of bounds ice on Blue losses.
I mean, and we got Michael here too. How you doing?
GG Bluehits, GG man.
No, seriously,
that was a good race.
Seriously, GG. That was both of those runs were just amazing. And no, seriously, with that out of bounds ice being given one of the worst Blue losses I've ever seen in my life, you played that really well. So good job for that.
Thank you.
And Michael, yeah, awesome playing on your part too, keeping up.
I kept up the whole area 4. I kept pretty much even with him. I just couldn't recover from area 3.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. The area 4, I pretty much think was just really solid all around.
Oh yeah, area 4 is good. 3 Bluehits saved like 15 seconds on me on Moonshot Split alone because of his tech skip, and then I got left side T room and badly.
Yeah, my area 3 overall was rather good. It was less than 10 seconds off my semi best, excluding the out of bounds ice.
Yeah. Full 4 hallway and had really bad RNG in pretty much every room. A little bit, but for missing that breakaboo because it looked like he was about to escape for you at 1. I was hoping.
Yeah. The start was really sketchy.
I mean, that a lot of that breakaboo was looking really sketchy, but it
This is
like
the first race that isn't this the first race both runners got breakaboo?
I think it is, which I did make a comment on that. It's like, wow, I can actually tell who's ahead because both runners got breakaboo. We don't see that really often.
We don't.
So, seriously,
overall,
both of you.
I'm very proud of that run, even though I can't say anything bad about it. I played extremely well.
Dude,
try and come back.
Still a solid time.
Okay. 57 in general is just crazy.
Area 3.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this was just a pleasure to watch start to finish. I wish I could keep up with everything because there was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of crazy good stuff.
Probably would have helped if you had a co-commentator.
Maybe. But, you know, things happen. Family things come up.
Don't mean to call anyone out here, but, you know.
Nah, I mean, like I said, things come up, so I was up for it. Maybe I sound a little bit nervous at the beginning, but I was having fun.
3 was the only difference between us, because we were like 3 seconds difference at Area 2.
You know, it's funny because Area 2 it went really differently for both of you, but it didn't really mean much because you guys finished with like literally a few seconds apart, like same as Area 1, but it just turned out so differently. Like,
yeah, what did Bluehits do in Area 1? Because I realized I was ahead of him even though I missed a double.
He ran away from
very confused.
Chauncey early. Didn't spawn Chauncey.
Rocking horse. Yeah, the rocking horse.
Oh, because I was like 53.
I got that one pixel position where the rocking horse just doesn't work. And then I messed up the backup and I backed up early.
I mean, still reacted real quickly and still got it. Only lost like 3 seconds or so. Well, 4. I don't know.
I feel like if you did lose Breakaboo, we would have been within like 5 or 10 seconds.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great.
GG, man.
Yeah, all right. So, Bluehits will be moving on to the winners bracket finals against Switchmaster 64. MichaelT00 will be moving on to losers round. I gotta double check this. I can't even tell where he's gonna show up. Oh, there we go. Losers round 7, which his opponent hasn't been determined yet. So we'll most likely be seeing a bunch of losers round matches coming up. So hopefully everyone can stay in tune. You can check out the bracket. I don't think we have any upcoming races so far. They're to be scheduled, but we're heading on to the closing part of this tournament. So hopefully everyone sticks around. Go follow both the runners. They're both very talented. Luigi's Mansion runners. Bluehits going for both of them going for Hundo World Records right now. 100% is a super fun category. And this is Electric Miles, and thank you for watching.